Welcome to Season 1, Episode 17 of the Film Bros Championship Podcast. I am Tim. With me is my co-host, Patrick. How you doing, buddy?
Tim, the good guys always win, even in the 80s.
Even in the 80s.
It makes me laugh every time. It's so stupid.
Yeah. You would think that line would fit better in context.
I thought it was a trailer exclusive line. I didn't realize it was going to be in the movie.
Oh, yes, it is.
I was like, oh, this is just something silly they did for the trailer. Okay, that's fun.
Yeah. But no, it's actually kind of like a weird plot point.
Not a plot point. It's a little kiss-off line or whatever.
Yeah. Well, between the two, the villain and the hero, there's like a callback humor, I guess, is what it's almost trying to do. Because they were, like, at one point in the movie talking about the long-last 70s and how great that era was.
The idealistic 70s. What? Yeah. Okay.
Yep. And so that's just a taste, audience, of what we experienced with the movie Megaforce. And since this is Patrick's pick, he gets to give us the rundown of this gobbledygook nonsense.
Guys, I don't know what happened. I really don't. It's a cartoon. This movie is a cartoon. This is a blatant G.I. Joe ripoff.
Yeah.
The costumes were apparently designed by Mattel. Not a joke. There was no costume designer. Every article of clothing people wearing this was designed by Mattel.
So were they thinking this was going to be a big hit?
I think they have. Yeah, it's a 20. I'm spoiling things. $20 million they spent on making this thing. This is, I think, the highest budget we've run into so far this season. I'd have to go back and check it out, but it's among the highest.
Yeah, higher than like Rambo, I guess, and First Blood. And
I would need to double check my notes, but I'm pretty sure. Let's see.
That is crazy,
right?
It must have all that money must have went into the models.
Supposedly the models themselves was like $1 million. No, yep, budget of $15 million for First Blood. So yeah, this cost $5 million more to make than First Blood.
Wow. And they just put too much of that into green screen. Was green screen like a new technology at this time?
Tim, that is incorrect. It is not green screen. It is Introvision.
Oh, good Lord.
Which is basically just green screen / rear projection. Like, what? Okay.
Yeah. And they used it hardcore in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it is unfortunate.
Yes. Every time. Every time.
Yeah. It's like, man, just way to make everything look real cheap. And so it's kind of crazy that it's like, I'm curious what's the difference between this movie and like a Bond movie of the era. Because, I mean, Bond makes some pretty awesome set pieces. And a lot of this movie takes place in basically a desert. And why couldn't they put more of that money, into the effects, into the stages, into the sets? Like, what's the deal?
Supposedly, this was a regret from the director that he wished he had made it more futuristic, technologically futuristic. You think that would have saved? That would have helped the movie? Like, I guess. I don't know, buddy.
I don't know. There was plenty of hologram greatness in it. I don't know. Good Lord, when the pig showed up, I was, oh no. Anyway, so I guess we should just get right into our hero, which is sad because I am a fan of Bostwick here. In general.
You're a big Barry Bostwick fan?
In general, mostly because of
Spin City?
Spin City would be my main reason. So it's I think the weird thing is, like, I feel like this movie I feel like they weren't trying to be funny.
That's the funny part.
Were they?
Because when you look at the quotes from the producer, right?
Yeah.
He's like, it's
because it almost seems like at times like this should be like an Airplane movie or a Hot Shots movie, and but it's not. It's like
So-
clearly not aware enough to be that.
The producer says, I didn't want to do another Dogs of War type movie. I wanted this to be more camp, more of a spoof, but still believable. And
You can't go both ways.
I don't think Hal Needham or Barry Bostwick got that note.
Yeah,
Because
although at times, even when he does even in the 80s, that almost seems like it could be from a spoof type thing.
Yeah, you think, but then I read these quotes from Barry Bostwick, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So he says stuff like, "We use high technology weapons of the most advanced design. They're still on the drawing board, but they will be in use by the time this movie is out a year later." And then he claims that the Pentagon tried to stop the movie by withholding 40 Army tanks needed for the bigger battle sequences because the movie Strike Force was very close to covert CIA strike forces still in existence.
Oh, boy.
And then he goes on. He says, "You know what's good about this film? It's plausible.
Oh, man.
We need an international force like this to keep the peace. I wouldn't mind betting that one day there's a real Megaforce operating somewhere in the world."
Oh, boy.
I would love to have seen the context of these answers. Like, is he laughing his ass off when he's saying this stuff? Because what?
Or is he straight up being the mayor from Spin City, basically?
Yeah, like, I don't know.
Because it's, yeah, they're just mercenaries, people.
No, they're G.I. Joe.
I guess. I don't know.
Everybody
just drops off weapons for us and tanks. And okay.
Okay, so here it is. Ace Hunter is the leader of Megaforce, played by Barry Bostwick. It's a G.I. Joe knockoff who are funded by SCUF, Supreme Command United Free Forces. The leaders of every free nation in the world secretly contribute their best men and their most advanced equipment, and they determine where and when Megaforce strikes.
I guess, and they didn't see coming that they were going to get messed over in this plot. But anyway, so yeah, Ace here. He is very cocky, very, very confident person.
You got to be to wear the uniforms he's wearing.
That is very true. There is some knockoff reject Star Trek uniform going on that he's wearing at one point too.
Oh, the dress uniforms?
Yes.
Yes, it's the Star Trek like relaxed look from the movies of season 2 where the flap is open, but it has an ascot.
Yeah.
Now, I would have called ripoff if it wasn't for the fact that this movie came out the same year as Wrath of Khan. So I have to let that go.
Okay.
Where those uniforms are introduced.
You mean the good uniforms? Just saying.
That's right. Yeah. The turtlenecks.
Yeah. So and he really loves wheelies. He loves to do a wheelie. Any chance he can get, this character is doing a wheelie.
Chicks dig it.
Clearly because the female interest is clearly just interested in him right away from his wheelie. They just won't stop doing. And he also loves to wear a bandana.
It's the only way you can
it's
tell.
not even a bandana.
Yeah, it's like a ninja sweatband thing that he doesn't really use to get the sweat because it's like so low on his forehead.
Right, it's like directly in the middle of his forehead.
It's like baby blue too, so it's very easy to spot whose motorcycle it is when it's him. They're like, oh, that's Ace.
Yeah,
Ace Hunter.
Ace Hunter. And when he gets very serious in time for dramatic parts, he like whispers and talks at a volume that I'm like, I don't know what he just said, but I don't think I care enough to turn the subtitles on. So I'm just going to keep going.
I didn't notice a sound issue with this movie, at least not that I can remember.
No, it was just every once in a while when he got really serious, he would just all of a sudden his volume just dropped and he would just talk very quietly. And I'm like, I life of me, I have no idea what he's going on
Perhaps I was just more entranced by the Bostwick. He's very eloquent, that Bostwick.
Yeah, I guess so.
But he looks like the blonde member from the Bee Gees. He's got this thick feathered hair and beard, and all his clothes are super tight.
Yes. Yeah, they are.
And these combat Megaforce uniforms they're wearing, these beige, goldish spandex things.
Yeah.
Just seems like the least ideal uniform for motorcycle riding people? Because you fall in spandex, there's no padding.
No.
That's just going to hurt. Bad.
I feel like there'd be a lot of chafing issues going on here, too.
Yeah, it would not be comfortable, especially in a desert situation where we're spending a lot of time in this movie.
Just a lot of swamp ass. That just sounds not
On
pleasant.
top of it, they have the laser tag console.
Yeah.
At the center of their chest.
Like they should be running around with Tom Hanks in FAO shorts or something.
Yeah, and it's like hooked up to the helmet of their like a little cord, whatever, like a little phone
they always
cord.
had to be jacked in. Like all the heroes had to be jacked in.
Yeah,
to
we
all their
don't
devices.
see like there's like some kind of screen or whatever on their helmets, like Iron Man or something. But
yeah, I don't know what it's telling them.
Yeah,
I was really hoping that we get people going like just turning knobs on their chest or something.
Nope, they never touch them.
Nope. Yeah, it's nonsense. I don't really know what to say other than because I really want to start talking about the villain. Because the villain, no offense, Boswick, is pulling this off a lot better.
Wasted opportunity for the villain.
Yeah, because you don't really see the potential of him till way later in the movie.
Like the movie's almost over. We're like,
yeah,
where has this been?
I know. And it's like, no, wait a minute. He's getting it now. He understands the point, and you're all missing it, and this is what we should have done.
Yeah.
And it almost reminded me of, what's his name from Three Amigos? El Guapo or something?
Yes, exactly right.
That's the kind
same
of...
energy.
Yes, the same energy that you're getting, El Guapo. And I was like, I am starting to really dig this.
Yeah.
And... unfortunately, before you can really dig it too much, we're already on to the movie.
But back to our man Ace Hunter.
Yeah, because that's the relationship between Ace Hunter and the villain is fascinating, and that's like it's a weird thing to compartmentalize this right now.
Yeah, I know. Everything gets mixed up in my notes too in this one.
Yeah,
because it's all blah.
Yeah. Him and his girl, because I can't wait to talk about the thumb kiss. What was that?
I was saving that for her since she's the one who started it.
Yeah, fair. Did she start it?
She did. She started it.
It was going back and forth for a while, and I was like, "What?"
It suddenly became a thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
but she started.
It just kept going. It kind of reminded me of Face Off. You know what I mean, with the waterfall thing on the face, and I was like, "Why does this keep happening? Who does this? It's so weird."
So weird.
Yes.
Yeah. So. In the beginning, it seemed like Hunter was trying to do some kind of cheesy Bond knockoff, and it hurt my feelings as a huge Bond fan. Like, there's this one line where he's talking to Zara in her room, and he's like, "I didn't say you could learn everything about a soldier by looking at his chest."
Oh yeah.
I'm just like, come on.
Yeah, I was like, a lot of innuendos that are not really innuendos here.
Yeah.
Like, you could tell from the energy, but, like, it's kind of some nonsense going on right now. That everything in the base is, like, simultaneously fascinated by how awful it looks and boring as all hell. Because it's like, the movie slows down real hard in the base.
Yeah, well, that's, like, at least half the movie, too.
I know.
So, yeah, and then...
and then they touch hands. And it was like, oh.
That's it. The only I really enjoyed Hunter not allowing Zara on the mission with the team, even though she aced all his tests.
Yeah, what was his reasoning again? Because I was like, I don't get this.
It's because he runs the triangle offense, Tim, and all the men have trained and fought together for years and know every move the others will make. And an outsider would introduce an unknown variable that puts them all in danger.
Okay, I was thinking that was it. It's too much of a well-oiled machine, and she's too much of a risk to that well-oiled.
Because they don't know her. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you like my Phil Jackson triangle reference?
I did appreciate that. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Apparently,
he doesn't like turbulence.
Yeah, is it turbulence or he just gets like air sickness? Like that,
I think it was because he came to him and apologized for the turbulence, and he gave him some Alka-Seltzer. So we had Alka-Seltzer,
and that was after another two of our heroes are like going back and forth, talking to each other, and throwing a knife.
I was saving this for later. But yes, thank you. I wrote.
They're heroes, but what? We're just gonna throw a sharp knife in the hull of the plane back and forth?
Put a pin in that one because we are getting back into that later. Because I have a long rant about that one.
Okay, fair enough. All right,
long rant. But I love that they gave him Alka-Seltzer, and as you referenced a few minutes ago, in that same scene, they have somebody playing with a Rubik's Cube, which is our first Rubik's Cube in any of our movies that we've watched so far.
Yeah.
I feel like we were just missing like a "Where's the beef" line to really hit the trifecta for the 80s. Unfortunately, that didn't come out until a couple years later.
Yeah, out of all the movies we've done so far, like, because I feel like there's some of these movies were made a little bit earlier and then came out in '82. Like, not all of them came out, being made that, soon, close to the release or whatnot. So I feel like this is the first movie that we've done that really feels '80s.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah,
agreed. Yeah. And then the only thing I have, of course, is Hunter's last line again, that the good guys always win, even in the 80s.
Oh, yeah. Even in the 80s.
And
he's not upset by it at all, by any of the things that happened to him about double cross or anything like that. Or
it's not a double cross per se.
No, I guess it's not.
Politicians lost their nerve or whatever, and so he has to figure his own way out of the country.
Right, but no hard feelings. It's all good, everybody.
Well, there's some hard feelings as he blows up the general's helicopter.
Oh, but they all laugh about it.
Yes, they all have a good look.
Yeah, it's all. Oh, him and his shenanigans,
Now let's get to London. I have a date. End of movie. Play the theme song. Megaforce.
Which, again, we talked about this a little bit before we recorded, but I was like, oh, wow, really 80s as we're getting all the, all the hits, I guess, of the action sequences, all there were. And then, like, I'm not noticing, all of a sudden you hear the chorus say Megaforce. It's like, wait a minute, what? This is an original song for the movie?
And it's like over 4 minutes long, which is incredible, too. That's too long.
And again, also very 80s.
Yes.
Yeah.
Calling. yeah, it's incredible. So what did you give our man Hunter?
I gave him a 2.
You were nicer than I.
Yeah?
I gave him a 1.5.
1.5? I can come down.
You can,
I wouldn't object.
You stay where you are. We'll see where we are at the end.
I'll do a /1.5 for now.
We'll see where we are at the end.
Yeah, but maybe we'll see what we did.
It's like, what?
It's only because he's like somewhat of a buffoon charming, and it's just that Bostwick energy. It's probably the only reason why I put it to a 2.
Yeah. No, I don't blame you. I want to like Bostwick the same as you.
Yeah.
Like, I know he's not bad at acting. This is just wrong.
It's just bad. There's nothing good going into this.
Yeah. So the villain.
Yes. Let's talk about the villain.
Duke Guerrera.
Yeah. And he's boring. He's kind of boring at first. You don't get anything with him until the chess sequence.
What are they doing in the beginning of the movie?
They're blowing something up, but are they in a different state when they're blowing that up? Are they behind enemy lines when they're doing it, and they get chased, and then they cross the border back? So I don't understand.
I couldn't figure that out either. I think they're just messing in their own country, Camibia.
Like the made up states we have in this one are some craziness going on there. And is the other guy, the kind of bumbling buffoon that's always next to our villain, is he like the leader per se?
He felt like someone from the Communist Party who was like in charge of spewing the propaganda, because he's saying stuff that sounds like, the proletariat and all of that and like that, and he's like, all right, shut up, I want to blow shit up now.
Yeah. Did you see when he was reading his speech in the beginning there?
No.
What he was reading from?
No. What was it?
A high school or primary school, whatever you want to call it, like composition notebook.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like the black
and
white kind of just notebook that you would have in school, and he's
Salt
just
and pepper.
yeah, he's like reading out of that. I'm like, this is a little weird. I don't know.
$20 million production. That's what they could afford for the notebook, huh? All right.
Yeah, I guess. And and our villain looks just as bored by it all, and he's clearly just more of a hired gun.
Yeah, he is an actual mercenary.
Yeah, and he just cares about the money, and he just wants to do violence, and he has fun with that. So he was, he lit up a little bit when he got to blow stuff up. But yeah, you don't really get much from them at all.
Everything we know about him gets explained by Hunter at a dinner.
Yeah, which is super bizarre backstory.
Yeah, he He used to serve with Hunter.
Yeah.
I'm not sure in what.
I don't know
I guess
either.
the army. I don't know. And they were good friends. And then Guerrero got called back to his own country to help quell an invasion. He was ordered to surrender without firing a shot, so the politicians of his country could save themselves. And Guerrero left without a country and became a mercenary.
Right. He was so mad about that. It's just like, okay, but none of that is our Hunter's problem with our villain. His problem is he stole his lighter.
It's funny. He talks about it in the dinner. It doesn't seem to bother him that much. But when he's face to face, he goes stone-faced and Van Damme and serious. Like,
yep,
you stole the lighter.
Yeah.
Like, what?
I thought he was being serious when he brought up his lighter being stolen. It was almost kind of like, and then he took my lighter.
I thought he was sad about him not getting him able to have him join Megaforce with him.
Right. But that, I don't know. I also took it like he was my friend, but then he left and he had this bad situation happen to him, and I get why he went to do what he did, but he took my lighter, man. That's how I took it. And then, of course, it's like the first thing he brings up
is the lighter.
And you're like, what?
I don't know. For this movie, both interpretations feel true.
Yeah. I mean, and then like, and it's interesting because you do have a genuine reaction, I feel like, where all of the heroes' reaction and audience reaction is the same. What's happening? Wait, why is he here? Why are they hugging? Why is the good guy and the bad guy hugging and having a grand old time talking to each other? Like, what is going on? Like, my note for like 3 times is, what is happening? Like in a Jason Mantzoukas kind of way.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yep.
But anyway, regardless, it's right from him playing chess and him cheating and switching pieces around and he gets this big smile and he's smoking a cigar. You start to see like there's some fun to this character all of a sudden. You don't get that till that moment, which is like the almost close to the final boss ending part of it, you know. They're in the desert. They're in this foreign state now. And then just as the movie goes from there, he just gets increasingly more fun and just some great reactions from him.
Even with the cheating of the chess, he's just like, okay, so which is sort of like a movie clue to let you know he's kind of a moron since he's losing a chess to this person we all already think is a buffoon.
Yeah.
And so, all right. And then the only thing we get to see him say that next, there's a big action scene and we just hear him yell, move the armor. And that's it. And then all of a sudden, he after Megaforce goes to the refueling depot, he lands there on his helicopter. Somehow he knows exactly where it is.
Yep, just knew it.
And he shows up like a goddamn rock star.
Yeah.
These giant aviators on. He's like, hey, how's it going, man? It's like, what?
Again, full El Guapo energy.
Yeah, like, what is going on? He's very chipper.
Yeah,
he just got his butt kicked and he's so happy.
Each other.
Yeah.
I guess because he must know he's already like, I just, you know, what happened to me and my backstory, I've now just turned onto you, basically. Like, I just went the geopolitical route to mess you over, even though you just blew up a lot of my stuff. Like, now you're stuck.
It's wild that he's just like, so, like, it's okay. You killed a bunch of my men. You blew a bunch of my tech. It's fine. Yeah.
He doesn't care. He cares about the money, I guess, right? I don't care. And then, of course, the lighter comes up.
Yeah, he's like, you gave it to me. You don't remember you were drunk.
Yeah, and then I don't remember who says the line, in all my years of soldiering. And I'm like, wait a minute, what? Is that really a saying? My years of soldiering?
Yeah, I guess.
You guess? I don't
know.
Too expensive to be an idealist.
In the 70s, we could be idealists, but today it's too expensive.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Okay.
And at the end of the movie, because basically he's got him stuck. There's only one way out for the hero. They have to cross this dry lake bed or whatever. And so they got him surrounded. And somehow the plan is these 2 planes are going to fly overhead and distract this fleet of tanks long enough to, I guess, give Megaforce a running start to get
sneak up behind them.
Yeah, and then go through them and then get on the plane and take off. It really makes no sense. But it was also fascinating to see this fleet of tanks. Those planes flying over them and by them are so close, and yet they can't take these planes out.
Well, they got one of the planes.
They got one of the planes, yeah. And then, so many of these people on bikes and dune buggies are able to blow through them.
I'm not much on my tank warfare. I don't know how great they are with moving targets, especially the plane kind.
Sure.
But yeah, it's.
And then you have the, that you think they're gonna get out, exception of our hero falls. Is he gonna get up? Type of deal. And this is where this 1 and 2 payoff from earlier in the movie comes into play, right? Where the egg scientist.
We don't want to cover this in action. Or?
But I guess the point is, he makes a daring escape. I won't go into details, right? But our villain then is cheering him on.
Oh yeah,
and is super excited for him, and I loved it.
Yeah, no, he's delighted by this, getting his butt kicked again by Megaforce. He's like, wow, way to go, Ace. What?
I enjoyed that. That made me laugh.
Yeah,
his energy was great.
By the way, that actor is Henry Silva. And you know him from one other thing.
I think I looked up his IMDb and now I forget. But I don't remember off the top of my head. What was it?
He was the voice of Bane.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
On Batman the Animated Series.
Yes.
I actually ended up having to watch an episode.
Just to catch it?
Yeah, I was like, I gotta watch. Did not sound like him at all. So he did great.
No, yeah, that's what kind of like threw me. I love Bane. At least in the original Batman the Animated Series.
Okay.
His S&M stuff was a little weird in the new one.
Okay. You went there. So what do you give Duke Guerrera?
I went 2.5.
Whoa, that is high.
I know. I think the ending and him cheering him on, it left such an impression that I was like, I love this. But you're right. It's like very uneven. You only get that really at the end. It's kind of a whole lot of nothing.
It is stunning by how it takes forever for the movie to get into the action.
Yeah.
And how long is this movie? It's not that long, right? It
felt long.
At that point, it's less. It's an hour and 39 minutes. It takes like an hour for them to start Megaforcing.
Right. It takes a long while, and it's rough.
And the bad guy doesn't become interesting until like there's 25 minutes left. Like, what?
Yeah, you get a little bit of him in the very beginning, and then he doesn't make an appearance, only talked about until like again that last part of the movie, and he's a blast in that last part.
I wish everybody had his energy.
I agree.
And that last little bit between him and Bostwick with like he shoves the cigar in his mouth and hits him over the head or whatever, and it's just like good guys always win, even in the 80s. Like, this is like a Bugs Bunny cartoon. This would have been fun to watch if the whole movie was like this, but no.
It would have.
Fortunately,
well, that's if they did it in like an airplane or Hot Shots fashion.
I was thinking of Hot Shots the whole time. Like, if only they had done this in Hot Shots style.
Yeah, if he was the Saddam character, basically.
Yeah.
This movie would have been a lot more fun, for sure. So yeah, I can concede mine's a bit high.
I would too for him though, because even I admit I enjoyed that bit a lot.
So yeah, we're not too far off.
No,
we're really a point off, half a point off.
I'm just nervous about how high we're gonna have for this movie.
It's gonna be higher than some stuff.
Wow. All right. Yeah.
It's definitely not too low.
It's pretty low for me.
Fair enough.
So action.
Yeah, this is not great.
No.
$20
million.
I like models, so it's fun to see models. Even them exploding in the beginning.
Tim,
that was fun.
You know me.
Yeah.
You know my
We're sucker for models.
You know my business.
Yeah.
You know what I do. You know I love Godzilla movies.
Yeah.
These models sucked. These miniatures were terrible. I mean,
I thought some of them were all right. The one in the beginning blowing up the plant, I thought looked good.
It looked fine for a 60s, 70s Godzilla movie. It does not look great for 1982. It's especially considering I know what the Godzilla movies will look like in the 80s. They looked a lot better than those miniatures.
See, I thought more of the rear projector green screen stuff is the stuff that looks real awful.
So much worse. So much worse. Yes.
So much worse.
No doubt.
Yeah. I didn't think the models were too bad.
They always looked very obviously like models. Like,
as you know, I'm a sucker for explosions. So I do appreciate some good explosions. So I'm cool with that.
They're tiny fake explosions.
Oh, come on. Explosions are still cool. I don't know.
It's like blowing up science project.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we get in the tanks blowing up the factory or whatever. So we get some explosions, and then there's like I guess a chase that ends very quickly, and not too much of a chase. It's just like we can't cross the borders or whatever. Darn. And then we have the scene of the Megaforce, I guess, is practicing on their bikes.
Target practice, yeah.
Slow motion, shooting these things in the sky.
They're like in a canyon. They're like driving through a canyon where like a bunch of balloons are like shooting out in front of them and above them and everything like that. And you got Ace in the middle, and two guys on the right, and two guys on the right and the left, are shooting everything in front. And Ace is wheeling the whole time. Popping all the balloons up top. And I have to say, I'm a little impressed by how long he held that wheelie. That did not seem easy.
Yeah, I guess. And then randomly just like jumps over the truck that the people visiting are in too.
It's such a little jump. It looks so bad.
It does. Yeah. So, and then, we don't get a whole lot of action for a real long time until she wants to test herself to be part of Megaforce.
I wasn't even including that, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you didn't want to include the romantic skydiving?
I was going to leave it for when I was talking about her because it's so bizarre.
Fair enough. So anyway, then you get a whole lot of nothing again for a real long time until they land into foreign territory.
Oh, and let's talk about the landing.
Yeah. Some more projector screen stuff of them all kind of just going out of a landed helicopter.
Before that, they're clearly in the interior plane set, right?
Okay, yeah.
And they're having them like just drive off in their dune buggies and their motorcycles off the plane.
Yep.
But they're clearly just driving off a set.
Right.
And landing right on the ground.
Yep.
And then they cut to toys. Like toy parachutes on toy tiny models of little cars and motorcycles, and just like a silhouette, and like this looks like shit. Holy mother of God.
They do make those shots really quick because they do not want you to dwell on this.
Yeah, and then they land feather soft on the ground.
Oh yeah,
it's so weird looking.
Yeah,
it's like they asked him like, all right, just jump up with it, and yeah, there we go.
Fast and the Furious will do a better job with this.
They really do.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bunch of nonsense. And I was very upset that we had to watch each one take off the plane. Like each bike, each dune buggy, like it is a long sequence of watching each one come off.
It's blessedly not all of them because there are 60 of them supposedly.
Oh, yeah.
But man, it feels like it.
It certainly does. Certainly does.
Anyway, that leads into the attack on Guerrero's camp.
Wait, when do we talk about the throwing of the knife back and forth?
In the side characters, because I got a lot of... It's part of the side characters nonsense.
All right, fair enough.
Trust me. There's not... I know.
Yeah. All the rockets firing from all these bikes look awful, by the way.
So bad!
Yeah, it looks real bad. It looks rough.
They shoot in any sort of direction except where, the tanks that they're supposed to be going at. And they're clearly little toy rockets. Because some of them even do loop-de-loops after they shoot off the motorcycles. Yeah. It's so cheesy.
There was one where it was trying to show some rockets exploding something, being shot at something. So they have, they unfortunately have a wide, far-away shot. And you see the rockets shoot off the bike, but they clearly go angled out completely away from the target, and then the target blows up.
Yeah,
yeah, what?
Exactly right. Yeah, no, it shoots for right field or left field.
Yeah.
It's never going at the target, ever.
Ever. But so you get a lot of just stuff getting blown up.
Let's talk about how the motorcycles have rockets and machine guns for weapons. And the dune buggies have laser beams.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think they have... Don't they have two weapons? They have something and lasers or something?
Honestly, once you have lasers, what do you even have another weapon for?
Yeah, for sure.
But not the most impressive weapon in this thing. There's a mystery weapon.
Right.
I can't quite put my finger on what the heck it is.
What do you mean?
So during this attack on Guerrera's base here in the beginning of this incursion, some guys decide to sneak up on the command van or whatever. Mm-hmm. They got like a rocket launcher and they're ready to strike, but the guy in the command van notices them.
Oh, right.
And this gun pops out. It makes a noise. We don't see a laser beam, but it shoots at the guys, and a puff of smoke happens. The guys are gone, and we hear this high-pitched whining, and that's it. That's it.
That was weird.
What happened?
Yeah.
Did they just?
I don't know.
Did they disappear them? Did they disintegrate them? Did they shrink them?
I don't know.
Because there's a high-pitched noise. I'm like, what'd that gun do?
That's a really good point. Yeah.
I read to watch it like 2 times. Like, what happened?
Wow. Yeah, I completely forgot. I can't believe I didn't even write this one down.
Really?
I know, and I remember watching it and being like, "What is happening?"
In your defense, they throw a lot at you after nothing happening for the longest time. So it's almost like sensory over. Like, what? I don't know where to look. Oh my god, it's all so bad.
And it's all just everybody's in black. Every buggy and bike is black. We're in nighttime. Almost there's not a lot of light going on in general on this set. So it's really hard to make out a lot of stuff.
Yeah, no,
or
it looks,
understand who your heroes are or what's going on.
Everything looks very sparse.
Yeah.
In this, this doesn't look like much of a headquarters or base or anything like that. There's nobody there.
It looks like a decoy base.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah. This looks like a training ground for when.
Now I see my note. Sorry. What just happened with the rocket that made a noise like a droid from Star Wars?
Great question.
There's so much nonsense.
So a fun bit too is apparently these motorcycles and dune buggies are hybrids and can go electric.
Oh, okay then.
And that's how they sneak up behind Guerrera at the end for their Pickett's charge.
Mm-hmm. Which still sounded pretty noisy, but
yeah, no, you can hear them lower the volume on everything.
Oh yeah,
and they go hybrid. Okay,
well, it sounded like more. Yeah, it sounded like more like film editing. We're just going to turn the volume down on our end. Yeah.
So that's how they sneak up behind the tanks as they're trying to shoot at the planes.
Yeah.
And once they get past the tanks, which, God bless them, Megaforce does not lose a man. I think the entirety that they lose essentially all the vehicles at the end because they don't have room on the one plane.
Right, they tell them to self-destruct or whatever.
Yeah. Did you remember seeing them self-destruct?
Oh, that's a good point. I don't recall.
I remember them saying they would. I don't remember actually seeing it happen.
I think everybody was just too excited that Ace is on that plane.
I guess. But as they're past the tanks, because they've blown those tanks away no problem, or gotten past them no problem. To a man, they all live.
Right.
They start pumping out this colored smoke out of the exhaust, which looks very cool on a wide shot.
It does. It's really dumb and lame, but it does look cool.
It's like, okay, this is practically stupid, but it looks pretty on camera.
Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to help deter the vision.
I would think they would choose all one smoke.
Yeah, the different color smoke is really weird. Why the colors? Why is that necessary? I think a few of them still get knocked down, but nobody dies. You're right. They just get picked up by the next one.
The producer made a point of saying that nobody dies in this. You don't see anybody die on screen in this movie.
Oh.
For the kids.
Yeah, I guess so. It's kind of like cartoon rules.
Because it's a cartoon.
Yeah. And right after this is when the commander goes down. Ace goes down.
Ace goes down, but not out. First, he's got to do his little cartoon shtick to Duke.
Yeah.
Literally putting a cigar in his mouth.
He puts a cigar in his mouth.
Like Bugs Bunny.
He somehow ramps off a tank somehow to get air to throw a grenade into one.
Yeah, that was earlier in the initial charge, yeah.
Was it? I thought that was
No,
after.
No, that's earlier in the initial charge.
He gets back on a bike, so that's why I thought that was part of that part.
No, this is where he gets on and he turns it into a flying vehicle.
Yeah, the 1 and 2 thing that comes back into play. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And oh boy,
I can't believe they thought this looked good.
it is really rough.
It looks like the end of Grease and Grease 2.
Yep.
Where they're flying off into heaven or whatever. It's like, this is bad.
Yeah.
$20 million.
Yeah, and it's rough because like to have like the whole team and crew on the plane standing in front of it excited too for him to get on the plane just made it like even worse.
Oh yeah, they're all standing there excited, chanting, cheering for him as he's flying in the air. And he even does like a little barrel roll on a motorcycle.
Yeah. Just
seems very dangerous considering he has no seatbelt of any kind.
Right. And if you can see how fixtured it like
yeah.
It looks so bad. But I do the thing that I loved about it again is the villain's expression and the jaw dropping and cheering for him. I did appreciate that part, but the rest of it is real bad.
It's real trash.
Just real bad.
Yeah. And then in retaliation for being left behind, Hunter blows up General Byrne White's helicopter, which we were told earlier he had carpeted and air conditioned because he spends a lot of time in that helicopter.
But it's not just any old carpeting, Patrick. It's shag carpeting.
Was that actually a line in there?
Yep.
God damn it.
It's shag carpeting.
God damn it. I didn't know.
I also have a note here in this end part too. Oh, the lasers are back.
The lasers. Why don't they all have lasers? It seems very unfair.
I think there was one time where one of the buggies do a flip that I thought looked kind of cool.
I missed it. I missed anything cool. I gave action a 1 because it all looked like crap.
Yeah, I gave it a 1.
Yeah. It's no good.
No, it's not.
Some really sad work here from Hal Needham, who apparently broke his ribs while doing some of the motorcycle stunts himself, I think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Because, once a stuntman, always a stuntman.
I guess so.
So let's get into the sidekicks. There are no mentors in this movie.
There's not. But yeah, quite a few side characters. So I'm curious, where would you want to start with? I want to start
with my enemy number 1.
Your enemy number 1. Are you talking about our man with the Confederate flag?
Yeah, Dallas.
Yeah.
I hate that.
What is up with that? That is not a country, you a-hole.
Yeah, so all of Megaforce has their country, their flag on their left arm, except for Dallas, who sports a Confederate goddamn flag.
Yep.
And later on, when they're doing that Pickett's charge, going up against the tanks, sneaking behind him and everything before they get on the planes, he puts another Confederate flag on his damn bike.
Yep.
I gotta tell you, my man, historically, not a good look for the Confederates charging in the center. I would not be representing that point.
Yeah.
Does not work out well for you guys.
Very solid point. But yeah, just to even intimate that it's a state is just offensive, and I do not care for that.
So yeah, he's Hunter's number 2, and she shows up in a cowboy hat and Skull t-shirt. Guess where he's from?
Texas.
Yeah.
And he gets to kill a snake.
Yeah, he does that too.
I guess.
And he has like some great lines like, "Here comes the egg, and that's no yolk."
Yeah. Oh boy, what? I forgot about that one. I mean, yeah, he's again also the idiot that's like, "Oh, you think that's cool? Let me put on this animated cartoon pig in our."
Yeah, I have this written down too. He's. Oh, God damn it. So the general, Byrne White, I was going to get into him later, but he's very impressed. Hunter gives a whole speech and plan about how he's going to attack Guerrera. And the general is very impressed with the plan. He says, "That's the best holograph yet?"
Yeah, I think something like that.
Yeah, I don't know why they keep on saying holograph instead of hologram. It was driving me nuts.
Yeah.
And Dallas takes this opportunity to show the room a cartoon pig that he thinks is delightful.
Yeah, he's really cracking up to it.
But no one else does, thankfully.
Yeah.
This is where I win John Hammond, and it's like, I really hate that man.
Yeah. And it's supposed to be done as humor, like, oh yeah, you're kind of a buffoon and nobody appreciates what you're doing, but like it it doesn't come off comedic. It just comes off like, yeah, we agree. Nobody likes you.
Yeah, no, it's exactly right.
Yeah.
I hate you.
Like, I can't even laugh at this.
No.
Like, you're just an idiot. Yeah.
And speaking of things I can't laugh at. So when they're on the plane together,
yeah,
Hunter and Dallas here. Dallas looks at Hunter. Looks like Hunter's looking a little blue, and Hunter says, "Before dropping into Da Nang, a buddy once told me that you love them in blue, you love them in red, but most of all, you love them in blue." And Hunter thinks this over and says, "That's totally inapplicable to anything going on, and very dumb. Who said that?" And Dallas responds, "You did." And Hunter says, "Well, but it's wise. It's very wise." What the hell is that?
It made no sense.
What is this was like, what?
It was purely just to have some kind of a gag, but it didn't make any sense. It was no basis in anything.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
That's
no,
Dallas.
it was nonsense.
I hate him.
I agree. No, there's nothing good about that character at all.
Real quick on General Byrne White, the stuffy English general who I guess now works for the country of Sardoon.
Yeah, I guess. And then at one point, though, he's got some fun, big old sunglasses going on, which I thought was kind of funny.
I did appreciate they look like grandmother glasses.
Yes,
sunglasses, yeah. When he tours the Megaforce base, he comments, "What a marvelous set of toys." And I'm like, bingo. That's the movie, buddy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I guess we should get into Zara.
Yeah.
Do you recognize
the president's daughter, who's
also
a major. And yes, she is from Star Trek The Motion Picture.
That's right. Good for you. You looked that up, though, didn't you?
Oh, of course I did. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. I had to look it up, too. But yeah, she played Ilya in Star Trek The Motion Picture.
Definitely looks very different in both movies. So yeah, no, I did not pick up on that.
Well, she's not bald here.
Yeah, so that helps.
Yeah.
For sure.
So she wants to go with Megaforce on the mission.
Yeah, well, she's weird at first because she seems gung-ho about doing this, but then she's offended by the welcoming. And then I guess Hunter puts her in her place about it and then is all of a sudden attracted to him.
Yeah, she's like, when you're just showing off, there's all this nonsense with the wheelies and everything like that. And he's like, no,
yeah.
we all have to do this training scheduled every month or whatever. You just happen to be here. I was like, okay.
Yeah, and then she's like, oh, okay, I like you now. It's like, no, lady, you were right. What are you talking about?
100%.
Yeah, and then like you see her later, she's got to get into her military garb, I guess, to fit in here at Megaforce, and she's like purposely like unbuttoning and trying to sex up her outfit.
Yeah, she decides not to wear her ascot, I guess.
Yeah.
And goes unbuttoned collar.
Yeah,
Ooh.
and this is where the hands touch, and it's like, oh.
Yeah, as they're leaving the room, they have to press the button for the door.
Yeah.
Because all the doors are sliding doors, but you need to press buttons for them. Like, well, this feels impractical.
I mean, it's kind of like Dr. No-ish, a little bit, but yeah.
But at least they're trapped in. They literally can't get out. That's the point of the
That's
Dr.
true.
No stuff.
Yep. Good point.
Yeah. Makes more sense in the 60s, buddy.
Yeah.
So Hunter puts her through this training mission to see if she could hang with Megaforce.
Yeah.
She can't just join Megaforce. And then we get this. The first mission is a skydiving mission, which is just regular skydiving. There's nothing special.
I guess, but it gets romantic or something. They start playing romance music.
Yeah,
and
but you'd think there would be some challenge to the skydiving. It's literally just
there's not.
Jump out of the airplane and hit the chute. Like,
it looked like a lovely day.
Excuse me. Sorry. Yeah. No. Yeah. It's done to this romantic music montage, and they hold hands a lot.
Yeah, but then at one point they're switching to where they're holding each other's legs.
Yep. Which
was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it seemed just like a lovely time. You had a lovely afternoon.
Yeah, well, and then they land, and Hunter's parachute is a rainbow, which I found interesting.
Yep.
And I guess that's
I think hers was like red or something.
Yeah, hers is just more military looking, and his was a rainbow. Maybe it's foreshadowing the colored exhaust later on in the movie. I don't know.
No, maybe, yeah. That's the Megaforce flag, maybe? I don't know.
I didn't see any flags, so who knows?
That's true, yeah.
And then once they land, Zara asks the helicopter pilot if she can fly the helicopter instead to get back. So once again, showing how skilled she is.
Mm-hmm.
And then they put her through this training simulator. This training simulator, which is just a pre-planned video you watch while sitting in a dune buggy console that doesn't move.
Yeah.
And you just press buttons based on timing, I guess?
I guess so.
But apparently in this room, it's required to wear low-cut jumpsuits.
Yes. She had like a black one, and for some odd reason, Ace had a silver one.
Yeah,
It's like,
she's got a red scarf, but yeah, he's looking like aluminum foil man from Silent Rage.
right, yeah.
And she's in the
To be fair,
Baroness outfit.
I think there was more material to the villain in Silent Rage. Like, it looked thicker than Barry's here, which is a little, very thin tinfoil.
Barry's got to breathe. That does all that chest hair. He's got to let it out. Yeah, she's in a Baroness outfit with a little red scarf. Looks good.
Yeah.
And then that's what he tells her, like, listen, this is not going to happen.
Yeah. You passed everything. You're great, but still no.
You plastered all fine colors, but I run the triangle offense. You got to know. And so that's out. So she's understanding, kisses him goodbye, and then blows a kiss on her thumb. And he presses her thumb to her lips, and then shoots the thumb at him.
Yes.
And he does the same, and this becomes their thing for whatever's left in the movie.
And he doesn't question it at all. He just does it right back.
Yeah.
And then we just see that every time they see each other for the rest of the movie. It's just, it's weird. Is this before, or did they already set up their date in randomly?
I think they do it right then.
Yeah. Like they're going to go to London randomly at a hotel?
Yeah, he's like, I got to know a great hotel in London or something. I know a great bar in London at this hotel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And finally, I'd like to talk about the plane sequence that you've been referencing a couple times.
Oh, thank you. Finally. There we go.
I'm sorry. It just deserved its own moment.
Okay.
Because it was so bad.
Yes.
So
I mean, the effects are bad. The nonsense logic behind it is bad. The dialogue is off. There's nothing good about it on any level.
So we got one of the guys is named Lopez, and he is doing a crossword puzzle. And he is asking for help from his friend Six Killer.
Ooh, I didn't catch that name. Look at that. All right.
Yeah, I looked it up. And Six Killer is throwing his knife at the hull of the plane, which is sticking in to the hull of the plane.
Yep.
And when he throws it, it shoots it into a straight line.
Yes.
There's no twisting in this knife. It just goes.
Yep. It looks like it's almost attached to a clothes wire. You know,
I was gonna joke like he shot like a knife gun or something because it just goes straight at the hull and it sticks in there
every time.
And he does this a couple times. Like, what?
They're just doing it back and forth to each other after they answer each other.
So yeah, the crossword. The clue is a 9-letter word for an actor who played an Indian chief. And Lopez and Six Killer are about to jump out of the plane. Six Killer realizes the answer is Lancaster, as in Burt Lancaster. And Lopez asks which chief Burt Lancaster played. And Six Killer responds as he's jumping out of the airplane, Geronimo. And I had to pause the movie and take a walk.
I was so fixated on the knife throwing that I don't think I caught that at all. But if I did, I might have.
It's truly bizarre to see someone throw a knife at the hull of a plane.
Yeah.
And this is not like, a commercial plane.
Right.
Where there's a lot of plastic or something they could conceivably stick into. This is like a military transport plane. It's just metal.
Right. The whole time I'm thinking, like, I'm just getting, like, Goldfinger vibes, like, what are we doing? Don't do that.
How is the knife sticking into the metal hull? It doesn't make any sense.
It's like adamantium knife.
Something, yeah.
I don't know.
Which, to your point, is a bad idea.
Yes.
Let's not put holes in the airplane. I don't like this. Anyway, one last note on Six Killer. Later on, after... because Six Killer and Lopez are in charge of the depot this time. And
Oh, yeah.
Six Killer's a little bummed about it, but Lopez is reminded we were the heroes in the last 2 missions, so it's our turn to be the gas men.
Yeah.
Anyway, when the guys get there to refuel at the depot,
this is when the villain shows up, right? It's that kind
just
of sequence,
before it. Yeah. Six Killer asks one of the victorious Megaforce guys, like, "Did you bring back any scalps for me?"
Did he really? Oh,
and I was like, yeah, well, that's what I was like, oh.
Yeah. Like, are we sure these are the good guys?
Yeah. Dude, this is the Confederate flag. Like, God, and 2 movies in a row with the Confederate flag nonsense, too. Like, what's going on?
Yeah. This is troubling.
Didn't care for it.
Not sure who the good guy is.
So I gave the sidekicks a 1.
I do too.
Yeah. Sorry, you weren't getting higher than that with Dallas on here.
No, yeah, not at all. I know it was a straight up 1 for sure.
Hate that man.
Yeah, I think the only places where I went a little higher, right, was hero. I went a little bit higher, and villain. I went a little higher, and that was by a 0.5 point each.
My final score was a 5.5.
Wow. No, I went 6.5. Because I went basically a full point more because of the hero and the villain.
I hate that I have to say these things out loud. I enjoyed Forced Vengeance more.
Oh, no, you didn't. Oh, you didn't. See, and here I am. I enjoyed this one more than 1990, The Bronx Warriors.
Forced Vengeance is more competent, I guess.
Is it? I don't like this. What are you doing right now? What are you doing to yourself? Do you remember?
I definitely like the Sword and the Sorcerer more than this.
How angry were you on the Forced Vengeance episode?
There was a lot of scotch involved, so I can't remember.
You were upset.
I was.
You were really upset. You are not as upset right now as you were for that one. So I think that is obviously ridiculous. It for you. It is clearly based off of listening to both episodes, hearing you now and having to listen to the original episode and editing that episode. You were clearly more upset with Forced Vengeance. There was clearly more enjoyment you had with this one. So there's no way that this should be below Forced Vengeance. Which is crazy because Megaforce is nuts. But yeah, no. I had a 6.5. I thought it was better than the Bronx Warriors. I thought the Bronx Warriors was all sorts of
absolutely
awful.
Not. Bronx Warriors is funny, and knew what it was. This movie,
I didn't know what it was, or is it?
This movie did not know what it was. Had no clue, and it was frustrating about how like the sparks of good are in there, specifically Guerrera, and that was just wasted. I'm like, what are we doing? This was the biggest budget movie we have reviewed so far. How did that happen?
Oh, I don't know.
How?
Yeah.
There's not even a big name actor in this that got paid. It doesn't make any sense. The bikes only cost like $1 million.
Where did all the money go?
Where?
I don't know. It's fascinating. And all the explosions and the miniatures,
They blew up the miniatures. They didn't even blow up anything big.
I don't know.
It was all shot in a desert. It doesn't make any sense.
It can't make that crazy location.
Make sense. It looks as cheap as Sword and the Sorcerer, which is a better movie than this.
Yeah. Okay. I can put it. I can drop it a 0.5 point and put it at a 6 and put it below Sword and Sorcerer, but over Forced Vengeance.
Fair compromise.
Okay. Although I would have put it above the Bronx Warriors, but I think I'll compromise there. Yeah. But yeah, I think you forget how upset you were by Forced Vengeance.
Probably right. Should we talk about the ending theme song?
Oh yeah, I almost watched the entirety of the credits just because I was just in shock and awe over that theme. I was like, I can't believe they have their own theme. Oh, there it is. Like a Megaforce.
Megaforce!
Oh, man.
Incredible.
It's so 80s.
It is. Oh, I forgot to mention, the opening score to this movie is completely different than this, and it sounds like the opening title screen to the original Nintendo. It is so weird.
It is very weird.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you call it? Where you're messing with the color or the contrast or something. Like it's a super weird credits where I thought something was wrong with my TV at first.
It's all black and white. Yeah, the color contrast is gone from it. It's like, what?
Yeah. It's super weird. And the music's weird with it. Yeah, it's super weird. And again, it's just like it didn't know, it couldn't focus, it couldn't really get a handle of its theme and tone at all. And it's kind of a bummer because I feel like there was actually a lot of potential here.
If they had made this like an actual cartoon, like in the Hot Shot style, like you said, oh my God, I would have loved the hell out of this. Like if it was making fun of G.I. Joe and stuff. Which is funny because G.I. Joe, the cartoon, doesn't start until like the next year or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's almost predicting how like ridiculous the G.I. Joe stuff is. Anyway, so this movie, like I said, $20 million budget. In today's money, it's like $62.3 million. You ready here for the worldwide gross?
Sure.
5.6.
Ooh.
Which is a little over 17 million today. Big bomb.
Wow.
Big bomb.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm amazed it didn't kill Barry's career there.
Kind of did. He didn't.
I mean, yeah, I didn't see him for a while. Like, I don't really remember him until like Spin City and such.
Yeah, I mean, he had Rocky Horror and he popped up in stuff.
Yeah, here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
But after this, he mostly just stuck to Burt Reynolds, and that was all he was allowed to do. You can do Burt Reynolds stuff, or you can do some TV movies that are just bandit spin-offs, I guess.
No.
Yeah, that's all you got.
Poor Barry.
But this basically killed Hal Needham's career for the most part.
Wow. Okay.
Rough goings.
Yeah. All right. Well. Ouch. All right. So I think we need to not do another one in a row. I don't think I could do 3 movies like this in a row for my own sanity.
Save us, Tim.
Yeah. I don't know if I can do it correctly, but we're going to try. Again, I'm going to try to save the best of the best, or at least what I'm most excited for, probably for later episodes. But I'm going to go with Fighting Back.
Ooh.
As the next pick.
All right. The the answer to Death Wish 2.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is right down there, pretty low in our rankings. Although surprisingly, not as low as I would have thought after watching that movie.
You know, the charm of Charles Bronson can take you pretty far, Tim.
I guess so.
Yeah, so Tom Skerritt playing scared white man.
I love Tom Skerritt. Why not?
Yeah. Directed by Louis Teague.
Drawing a blank.
Oh, Louis Teague did Cujo. And Cat's Eye. And Jewel of the Nile.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Navy SEALs?
Navy SEALs. Ooh, Navy SEALs.
There you go. And my beloved Alligator.
Oh, yeah. You're a sucker for that one.
You should watch it. It's good. Good stuff.
That was filmed in, like, Wilmington, right?
Alligator?
Or was it the sequel that was? Didn't you say one of them was filmed in Wilmington?
Cat's Eye was filmed in Wilmington. Which is really funny because they shoot a lot of it for New York.
Right.
It's like, that is not New York, sir.
No.
That is Wilmington, North Carolina.
Wow. All right. Well, then there we have it. We got our movie. Sadly, everybody, sorry, Fighting Back is another Prime rental unless something's changed recently.
Not that I can see.
Yeah, but we're getting close to the season end already. So what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 episodes after Fighting Back, and then we'll have one more, a sixth one to debate our rankings. Mm-hmm. So it's already getting to the back half, everybody.
Yeah, we're closing in.
Yeah, all right. That is it for us. Please show your support for the podcast by leaving a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, or wherever you happen to listen to the show. Also, sharing is caring. Be sure to follow us on social media to get the latest show updates. You can contact us by emailing at filmbrochamp@gmail.com or find us by searching for the hashtag FilmBroChamp. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Film Bros Championship Podcast. Peace out, everyone.
Like a big boss.